Hey guys, Street Wrench Monkey here. I'm going to show you guys how to change the brakes on this 2007 Chevy Aveo, the front anyway. So jack up the car 1/4 of the way, that way the tire is still locked. Put your wrench on here. I actually have an air gun, but I'm showing you how to do this with hand tools because it's nighttime and I can't use my air hammers, my air tools, my air ratchets. Give it a quick loose. See, loose. Then jack up the car and then use jack stands to help you support it. So I'm going to jack up the car right now. Okay, now the car is jacked up. See? Jacked up because the tire's not touching the floor. Put a jack stand under there, lower it on the jack stand, and leave the jack on the car. What that does is the jack stand secures the car, the jack stays on the car to support the car. Then remove the lug nuts and shove the tire under the car. Because if the freaking jack stand fails or the jack fails and the car falls, it could hurt you or kill you. Not joking. I like my fingers. I want to keep them. I don't want to die. So if the car falls, it'll land on the tire, which could help save your life. It'll hurt like a bitch, but it'll save your life. So let's see. One-handed shit. It's easier to take off now because I jumped on it when the wheel was jammed. Come on, baby. See, put the lug nuts where you won't lose them. Take the tire off. It's good to wear gloves. Gloves will help. Take the tire off. Put it upside down. Shove it under the car. See? Where the frame connects. See the frame? Shove it under there. The fucking car. If the car falls, the tire will help catch it. Yes, I'm skinny. I will get crushed. But I will scream like a little girl until someone comes to help me and I won't die. Alright, now next up, you need to C-clamp. Come over here and open the reservoir on the brake booster. Right here. This is going to look low because your brakes are low. Ooh, that needs to be bled. That's another day. I'll bleed them another day. So leave it open. Because when you put the C-clamp on here and compress the clamp, the piston compresses all the way in and the fluid will move. Look at how shot that is. Scary. See guys, my giant clamp. Got this from the auto parts store, hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, for I think it was like 10 bucks, 20 bucks. Get a big one. Big one will help. Nice and strong. Anyway, open it up. Also, put something underneath you. Cardboard, newspaper, Tupperware lid, storage container lid. A lot of dirt and a lot of shit's going to fall out from here. Don't fuck your garage floor up. Put it on here. That way your garage floor doesn't get screwed up. So then open the clamp and put it right there and back here on the caliper. So secure it right there on the edge to there and then compress it. See? I put it right there on the brake pad and right there on the caliper. Not the bolt, not the freaking bleed port, not the freaking brake line, right there on the steel caliper. Compress the shit out of it. loosen it up. Now when you're compressing, don't go all the way because you don't want to damage the rubber boot of the brake piston, okay? Just compress it enough, by like a ½ inch, ¼ of an inch, so you can remove it, okay? Don't compress it 100%. You don't want to damage the piston rubber boot. So now that it's compressed, see it's compressed enough for me to loosen this up and remove it. So we do this with one hand. Loosen this up. There we go. Okay. Now I'll show you the right bolts you need, wrenches. Loosen that up and loosen that up. Those are the caliper bolts. They hold the caliper in place on the bracket. See how it's moving? It's good. Okay, on this car, it's going to be a 14, can you see that? 14 millimeter socket. Put it on here, loosen it up. See how I just hit it? I just went bah and hit it with my hand. Loosen it up. Look, watch, just hit it, it comes up. See that? Hit it. You might want to put on some gloves, tap it 3 or 4 times, it'll come loose. Once it's loose, remove the bottom one first. Man, this needs to be cleaned and greased. I like to clean and grease everything. Now you should get a rope or a string to tie this up. Don't let it dangle by the brake line. Tie it up. Don't do what I do. Just tie it up. Don't let it dangle by the brake line. It's bad. Okay? And grab it, pull it, rotate it out. Don't lift it out. Rotate it out. And a good way to install it is to rotate it in. So here, rotate it out. Do not let it dangle by the line. See that? Ooh, yeah, I like to grease everything. I'm going to set it here. You need to tie it up. Do not do what I do. Do not set it down. Tie it up. When I'm done, I'm going to grease the contact points, which is here, here. I'm going to grease the rubber piston to help it out, the boot, and then probably the outer edge. Here are the pads that are shot. Go ahead and remove the pads. Yeah, that is shot. Yep, shot. And then the shims, the metal shims right here. Remove these. See all the shit falling out of this car? Come on, the fuck up. There we go. Now would be a good time to remove this and change the rotor, but I'm not doing that. I'm just changing the brake pads. Someone is getting this car tonight to use it for a few days from Turo. Ooh, the boot on the thing is cracked. That's going to fail, so I'll need a tie rod pretty soon. See that? How the boot is cracked on the tie rod? It sucks. I'm going to go ahead and lube up a lot of shit when I'm under here. The new pads, I got ripped off. That's the item number. AutoZone crap. Now it's supposed to come with the shim kit, because that's what they said, which is this. But I don't see that in the box, so I got ripped off. So I'm going to clean these up and grease these and reuse the old ones. And then I'll go back and hitch a bitch. So look, you can see the difference. See that? New brake pads versus shot ones. Crazy. All right. So go get some grease. Grease there. Grease there. Grease that. Grease that. Grease that. Put the shim on, and then grease the shim. Grease that. Grease that. Grease that to help the rubber boot. Grease that to help the contact point on the brake pad. Okay, there it is greased. lightly greased. See? Lightly. Try to not get any on the rotor. If you do, it's okay. You just grease the whole thing. It's a joke. All right, now I'm going to put the shims on and then grease them. See that? Now there the shims are, cleaned up and greased. Since you greased it before you put the shims on, the bottom of the shim is greased, and you grease the top of the shim. Then you take your brake pads and install them. Now, the one with the wear indicator goes on the back. You just insert it in the shim on the bottom and roll it in. Roll it in. Fit that in there. I'm going to need 2 hands. See that? There it is. Put the bottom in, roll the top in into the caliper. Well, it was just in. Oh wait, sorry. I think I had that wrong. This goes on the front. Sorry, because it was hitting the rubber boot. My apologies. Call me an idiot. See that? Put it on the bottom. Push down. Roll it in. This is hard to do with one hand. Swear to God. There we go. Sorry. Indicator on the outside. Roll it in, and it's flush. Now we go get the other one. Put it on the back. Put it in the shim on the bottom. Roll it in into the top. If I can get in here. I'm going to put the phone on and get this in. Hold on. There you go. It's in. Put it in the bottom. Roll it into the top. Make sure it's inside of the shims and it's snug. Now you want to take the C-clamp and put the C-clamp in here and compress the piston until it's flat. Then you roll the caliper on. Okay, this is what it looks like with my C-clamp inside the caliper and on the back plate, not the brake line. Slowly compress it because you don't want to break the rubber boot. You break the rubber boot, you might as well go buy a caliper rebuild kit. Bleed your brakes while you're at it. So go slow. Compress. See that? See how it's going in? Compress. See, I greased the boot first because then when you fully compress it, it's good. Now I'm going to stop right there because the boot is fully in and it's not leaking. I don't want to damage it and go too deep where I crack the boot. And I'm going to try and fit the caliper on now. To remove the C-clamp. Okay, see? Removing the C-clamp. Now my 2 hands, I'm going to roll the caliper on. Maybe I could do this with 1 hand. Yeah, no, fuck that. Hold on. Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, look. So align the top bolt. Make sure it's in the brake pads. Roll it on. If you compress the caliper piston enough, it'll go right in. Now what I do to help me out, I put the bolt back in. So take the bolt, dunk it in some grease, shove it in here, in the top. See? Turn it with your hand. Now the caliper is being held. Hopefully you were smart, not an idiot like me. I didn't tie it up. Hopefully you were smart, you tied it up, you untied it, roll it in. So once that bolt is in there, don't tighten it up. Now you come down here, push this in, see? Put the caliper in, grease the bolt. You should use Loctite. I don't. People use Loctite. Factory uses Loctite. I don't. Boom, put it in there and tighten it up. Now you should use a torque wrench. Check your manual, torque it to spec. But you know, I'm street monkey. I don't do anything right. So don't do what I do. Use a torque wrench, check your manual, torque it to spec. Probably going to be 40 or 60. So I snug it. And then once it's snug, I snug it again until the entire assembly moves. Watch. See that? See how the assembly is flexing? That's tight. That's not going anywhere. Watch. Watch the assembly. See that? See how the assembly moves? Okay. That's it. Now a trick I learned living in New England, where fucking wheels like to get rusted on. Grease this. And grease your nuts. your studs. And then your nuts will get greased. Because if this is greased, the rim will not freeze and rust onto the caliper. Go on YouTube videos of people hammering wheels off. Grease that, put the wheel back on, tighten it up, and we're done. Then go do the other side. See? There it is, lightly greased. I'm going to go ahead and grease CV axle boot, my tie rod boot, even though it's cracked. Hopefully the grease will help it live a little bit longer. And now I know I got to invest in some freaking tie rods and an alignment. It's going to suck. That'll be another video. Grease it all up. There you go. Tires back on. Let's put my greased up nuts in there. Well, the studs, the posts are greased, so the nuts will be good. Now, I like to snug it first. There we go. 19. All right, there it is. Then you jack the car up, remove the jack stand, lower the car, then you tighten it, then you go do the other side. Then when you're done, cover the brake booster, start the car, pump the brake pedal like 20 times to re-engage the brakes, then go take it for a test drive. I'll show you that. I'm going to go do the other side. This literally takes 15 minutes or less if you're quick. Probably took me 25 or 30 minutes because I'm doing this damn video with this damn camera to help you guys out. So I'm going to go bang out the other side and then show you the rest. Now that the other tire's done, I'm exhausted. Long day at work, then come home and do this shit. Look how the level is high again. Damn near overfilling. So if your brake fluid is low, your brake pads are probably low. Put the cap back on. I'm going to have to bleed that because I don't like that. Go start the car. Make sure it's tight. Okay. Now what you're doing is the pistons are loose, the brake pistons. Leave your e-brake on so the car doesn't go rolling. Leave it in park, start it. Now, pump the brake pedal. See? You'll notice as you're pumping, it starts to show resistance instead of going all the way to the floor. That means the brake pads and the pistons are now mated. Now you can remove this and test the car. Don't ever drive it with the hood open like I am. Then again, I'm street wrench monkey. Don't hit my wife's Tundra. She'll get pissed. Don't hit the garage. Don't drive it with the hood open. See? And I'm testing it. Now, brakes need to be broken in. Okay, car's out of my garage. Don't hit my diesel. Probably 200, 500 miles, they need to be broken in. If you hear noises and stuff like that, it's fine. It's just normal break-in. I doubt you'll hear any noises if you greased it. I'm going to go take the car out tonight, drive it, slam on the brakes to help it break in and help it set. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.